Hello, Rowlett Middle Academy families. Welcome to the 2021 school year Parent University for Rowlett Middle Academy. My name is Jamar Clark. I am the very lucky principal of Rowlett Middle Academy. Our awesome assistant principal, Ms. Shelby Ericsson, who is here with us on our Zoom meeting today, will be talking to you just about a lot of the questions that you have about this transformational school year. So we want to welcome all of our former families that are coming back this year. We're so excited to have you, but we also wanted to give a warm welcome to all of our new Rowlett Middle families. And both Ms. Erickson and I, not only are administrators, but we are also parents in this awesome kindergarten through 8th grade learning community that we call Rowlett. And we are just so thankful to have our new families here. We guarantee you this is an awesome culture and an awesome, positive, safe, and supportive learning environments for all of our students in both our elementary school and our middle school. And we are very happy that you are here, and bienvenidos otra vez. So we miss our kids, and our teachers are just so excited about having their kids, whether it's gonna be on campus, whether it's gonna be our blended students, or if it's gonna be our online students. We just can't wait to see them, talk to them, check in with them, and make sure that they are ready to have an awesome school year. We are claiming an awesome school year, and all of our actions moving forward will be ensuring that our students have a quality education. We're meeting their socio-emotional needs, and they're also having fun and being engaged while they are learning. So my number one charge, myself and Ms. Erickson's number one charge, is to make sure your kids are learning, make sure we're teaching your students, and to keep them safe, period. So that's what our number one charge is for this school year. And we've been working so hard as a community, a school community, both the middle school and the elementary school. We've been working so hard to create some plans to ensure a safe and sound opening for our schools and at our elementary school and our middle school. So we had a think tank over the summer, staff members from various areas of our school, whether it's the nurses, whether it's our facilities crew, our teachers from all different areas of school, our arts teachers. We sat, we met all summer, we looked at best practice, we looked at what other great schools are doing, we followed CDC recommendations, and we created a plan that we feel is the best, safest plan that we can do for our students moving forward for the 2021 school year. We're gonna go over today a PowerPoint. We're gonna be talking to you a little bit about some of the changes on campus, but we also, we wanna hold true and hold tight to what makes Rowlett and Rowlett Middle special. And we'll kind of explain some of those things as well. But we've created a flexible plan so that we can be agile and pivot at the drop of a dime to implement e-learning for all students if need be. So we just want to be flexible. We want to use our 7 habits and be proactive. We want to make sure we're seeking first to understand all of our families, and we also want to make sure we are sharpening our saws as a school to make sure we are mentally ready for school and we have all of our needs met, so we can make sure our students are learning and growing academically and socially this school year. So I'll be sharing with you now our PowerPoint, and we'll be talking through it, and we'll go from there, okay? So again, my name is Jamar Clark, lucky principal here. We're in our 4th year. I'm in my 4th year as a principal here, and we have Miss Erickson as well. She is, I think, in her 3rd year?
4th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
She started off as one of our teachers, and we love growing leadership on our campus. She's now our assistant principal and doing an awesome job, by the way. So
Thank you.
I mentioned that we want to make sure we stay true to what makes Rowlett and Rowlett Middle Academy special. And our mission is to provide a high quality educational experience that will foster a love of learning, promote creativity and excellence in academics by integrating communication, the arts, and leadership through a framework of 21st century learning. So Rowlett Middle, a 21st century school. Since we opened, we have been very, very focused on making sure all of our students had a 21st century environment. They had the technology and the tools to be able to be successful for those jobs in the future. to be college and career ready. And what we found is all the preparation that we've been doing has prepared us for this moment. The future is now. So you'll hear about some of the things that we're doing on our campus, some of the things we have been doing, and how that will help us during this e-learning environment. Another thing, we really pride ourselves on leadership. What better time in the world, in our community, in our country, to really be focusing on leadership. So we'll talk about how we are still encouraging leadership through our students, leading from the inside, leading themselves first, and then going out and leading by example. And also the arts. While other districts, other counties, other schools are cutting the arts, we are doubling down on the arts. We know that our students need an outlet for expression. It's very important for our students to be able to express themselves creatively, which will help them do better in school and have better self-confidence. So we're doubling down on all the things that make Rowlett Middle special: the arts, the leadership, the academic excellence, and the technology infusion across our campus. All right, so we're staying true to our mission because that's why you're here. Be the change at RMA. This is our motto for this year. One of my favorite quotes, one of our favorite quotes from Gandhi, that actually states, "You must be the change that you want to see in the world." So we are challenging our staff and our students. You know, there are just so many things that are outside of our control in our world, in our community, especially during these transformational times. We want to focus on the things that we can control and really focus hard on those. So we're asking our students and staff to be the change that they want to see in their school, right? At Rowlett Middle, be the change within your classroom that you want to see, and ultimately be the change within yourself first, that then can go out and model those positive leadership characteristics for everyone else in our campus. And that's how we make true change. All right. And Rowlett Middle, we really feel that when we're presented with challenges, we can create opportunities from those challenges. And we are taking this opportunity to do so. We're doubling down on our mission and our goals, and we are going to, ensure that our students have a positive, safe, and supportive learning environment in this in these times. And we are very confident that we'll be able to make that happen. All right, with your support, of course.
And Jamar, Mr. Clark, I'm just going to hop right in here, and I'm going to go ahead and put on the PowerPoint so folks can.
Yes, ma'am.
See.
You're right. Thank you, Ms. Ericsson. I have not shared my screen with this technology.
We like looking at you.
All right.
We like hearing it straight from you,
Okay.
but I think we do have some great graphics that are going to be able to help really hit home some of the points that we're going to be talking about today.
Excellent. So let's go ahead and I'm going to back out, and then I'm going to share our screen.
Perfect.
And then I'll bear with me. Thank you for your patience. All right, please disregard, let's see here.
You can see that Mr. Clark's been quite busy. He's got a lot of windows and things open.
All right, here we go.
So we've been busily preparing for
Sorry about that.
First day of school and for this sharing of information.
All right.
As well
Thank
today.
you, Ms. Ericsson, for catching that. So here's our mission, which we talked about a second ago. Be the change. There's our favorite quote there from Gandhi. We're asking them to, be the change in school, classroom, and yourself, and really focus on our circle of control. What are the things that we can control to improve our school and everyone around us? All right. Some other school information about Rowlett Middle. There's our cute kids. We always start off our PowerPoint with a picture of cute kids, your kids in particular. So we're in our 4th year as a charter school. We are a visual and performing arts school. This year, we've grown again. We started off in our first year with 300 students, and each year we add students. We're at 670 students this year, 6th through 8th grade. And we've also grown in staff, of course, because we have more students on campus. So 38 teachers on campus and about 55 total employees. We are still a uniform school, as you know. This year, a little bit of change is in regards to our technology. So in the past, since we've opened, we've been a one-to-one iPad school. And each student has been given an iPad while on campus. This year, due to e-learning and the need to ensure that we have learning equality amongst our students, all of our students have equal access to our education. This year, we've taken a step further, and we're ensuring that those iPads can go home with students each day. So now, versus learning coming to school, all the learning in the past would be done on campus. But now with COVID and the need for e-learning, we know that it is our responsibility to deliver learning and instruction to kids no matter where they are. So that's the main reason why we have transitioned to a true one-to-one iPad school. There is a $50 insurance fee that we're asking parents to pay. Of course, we are providing financial support to any family that needs that support. No questions asked. All you have to do is let us know. But these funds go to, it's for insurance purposes, and it goes to any breaks that can happen with the iPad. The first break is included with that $50 fee. Any additional breaks on the iPad will be an additional $50. And again, I reiterate, if you need support with that, please let us know. Another reason that we are adding this fee and also going forward with the one-to-one is because we need to ensure that all students have a school-managed device at home. So there are a number of apps that we have on our campus, whether it's Google Classroom or apps for art or Discovery Education, that we need to have on each iPad. And we have our tech department that can push these iPads out, the applications out to the iPads. Also, we need to be able to control the safety and security of our network to make sure there's no hacking in there. So that's why we're not allowing our families to bring in outside devices, because we need to make sure we have a secure network. Apple Care is the insurance that we'll be using to fix any damaged or broken iPads, but this $50 fee will also cover any theft that may happen with these devices while they are at home. But like I said, ultimately, we want each student to have equal access to learning, and we want the learning to follow the student no matter where they are. And by providing these iPads to students, that is a sure way for us to ensure all of our kids can access learning in the event that we have to shut down for COVID. And I'll be honest, most schools in our district, in the country, are trying to get where we are. And we had a head start because we started 4 years ago in implementing this one-to-one system. So we're very proud of this. We made a tremendous investment as a school to get these devices, and we very much so appreciate parents and your understanding and your flexibility to make this happen. Again, contact us if you need any support. We had a very, very generous donor who donated some funds to go for this very cause, families that are in need during these challenging times. Nobody will be denied an iPad, and nobody will be have their choice revoked for not being able to pay that. So we're very flexible. As you know, we're a family school, so we are here to support each other. So thank you, and of course, thanks for the donations of people who will go to support our families in need. Okay, contact me if you have any questions in regards to that. And lastly, I think because we provide a positive, safe, and supportive learning environment, our teachers love being here. They love their kids. Our kids love their school, and we ask them to work hard every day. All of those efforts resulted in us being an A school. And that is not our main goal, being an A school. We think that as a result of our culture and the hard work of our students and staff and creating the right environment. Okay. Again, look at those cute kids. RMA culture. You'll hear that word culture a lot in our environment because it's what binds us together on both campuses. So we're a family atmosphere. Families are always welcome on campus in most years. This year, due to COVID-19, we are limiting families being on campus for obvious reasons. We're only allowing one parent at a time in the front office. We're gonna ask that you wear a mask when you're in the front office, just so we can make sure we can keep your kids and all other kids safe. And we'll be touching on that a little later in some additional videos. But we are a family environment. We love parent involvement. We could not do it without our parents. And, we just really pride ourselves on being a small learning community and being a family atmosphere. Our students, our staff, we are a family, but you are also a part of this family community as well. Teacher and student golden rule. This is something that's kind of Rowlett specific and kind of we do here. We talk a lot to our students about the golden rule, which is treating others the way that you want to be treated on campus. That is the expectation. But the same holds true for our staff, right? And we call it the teacher golden rule, which is essentially treat and teach your students the same way that you would want your children treated and taught. So if you're treating your students the same way you want your child to be treated, that's how we'll ensure that everybody is provided the same level of respect and love on our campus. And that is an expectation for students and teachers. Parent involvement, we say all the time that parent involvement is the secret to our success. You are here, parents are here because they are involved parents, right? So we just want to make sure we hold on to that. We'll still have ways that parents can be involved, even in this e-learning atmosphere, whether it's we're sending stuff home and you sending it back. There are a lot of creative ways that parents can still be involved, and you'll hear more about that later. 21st century learning, Rowlett Middle has really prided ourselves on that, not only through technology, but making sure that we're giving our students the tools to be successful in the 21st century learning environment. One of the things that we're doing in all of our classes is the 4 C's, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. And if in all of our classes, we are utilizing those 4 C's, we'll ensure that our students are prepared for the future. And of course, one-to-one technology and all the great apps that we have on our campus, the Apple TVs in our classroom so we can do mirroring. All those things are preparing our students for the future. In addition to learning how to send an email, learning how to decipher online whether things are fact or fiction. These are all things that students will be learning in their classrooms, in addition to learning how to type, which is a lost art, right? Instead of pecking like on your cell phone. Whole child philosophy, we know that if we provide a safe, supported, challenged, healthy, and engaging learning environment, our students will do well academically and socially. Growth mindset, we're a continuous improvement learning environment. I don't ask for students to get straight A's. All we ask is that you do your very best and you show growth, right? And you are continuously trying to do better. And showcasing the talents of all of our students. As you know, we have some of the most talented students in Manatee County, not only in the arts, but in so many areas. We will continue to do so, even in even in an e-learning environment. So we'll find ways to still showcase and show you the awesome things that your children are doing within our electives and on campus. 7 habits and leadership. This is really the cornerstone of what makes us special, our leadership. 21st century student leaders, as I mentioned before, this is a time no more than other when leadership is important. So we're asking our staff to model that leadership for our students. And we do that through the 7 habits of highly effective teams and people. All of our staff are trained in the 7 habits, and every day our students will get I lead 7 habits lessons on character education, on organization, on goal setting. All those things will be discussed daily with our students. At Rowlett Middle, organization equals success. So every student has an agenda, and we'll talk about the agenda on a slide coming up here soon. Campus leadership, we try to provide numerous opportunities for students to have leadership, whether it's maybe being an office aide or being one of our ambassadors or helping us out doing certain jobs in the cafeteria. Every student on our campus can have a job. And we have a school economy where sometimes we even pay those students through hero points for those jobs. So we really try to create a sense of ownership and leadership on our campus. And a great way to do that is leaderships and campus jobs. And ultimately, personal responsibility. We're asking our students to be personally responsible for their health, right? Making sure that they're wearing a mask every day. That is the expectation, that every student wears a mask unless you have a doctor's note, which will allow you to wear a shield on campus. We're also asking our students to be personally responsible for their learning, right? Doing your work, turning your work in appropriate time, communicating with your teacher if you're having any issues. And lastly, we're asking our students to be just to do their very best, both inside and outside of the classroom, or we're asking them to be personally responsible for all those things. Parent-Student Contract. A lot of you know that we do this. I just wanted to have a discussion about it. We ask our students to sign their name. We know what it means when you sign a contract. You are agreeing to these expectations in these terms, but we're also asking our parents to be involved in this as well. And this contract just talks about just expectation for our school, both from a parent standpoint as well as a student standpoint. So this form will be going home for you to review and sign and get it back to school, and we'll keep it here on record. All right. OWL's expectations. These are consistent expectations that we have around campus. At no point do we want students to not know what's expected of them, right? So we have these expectations visible around campus. They're clear, and you'll see them in class, cafeteria, media center, all major areas. Essentially, these expectations ensure that we're going to have a positive, safe, and supportive learning environment for our students. We ask them to observe safety rules, work hard and smart, lead by example, and to show respect. And all of your children do that because those are things that you're teaching them at home, which is why you're here. All right. And e-learning expectations. So with our transition to e-learning, we have students that are not only doing e-learning 100%, but all of our students need to be cognizant of these e-learning expectations. So this is a SLANT acronym, and don't pay attention to the funny looking guy who was on the poster, but S stands for space for learning. Find a quiet place for learning where you will be able to be successful if you're at home, right? We want to make sure when you're doing e-learning, you're looking at your screen, you're being engaged, you're asking questions, you're nodding your head like I'm doing now, and you're collaborating and talking with your classmates. We also want to encourage students, and we'll be showing them and training students on how to email your teachers. If you know your assignment's going to be late, if you know you're having some difficulties, email your teachers. Students and families can do that. We're asking students to be digital leaders, making sure they're making good choices both on campus and online. Google Classroom is our learning management system. We've been using that since day one, so our families and our students are very comfortable with it, but we'll also be providing additional support for parents. So we'll have a parent tech page. You can go to that and see some training videos on some of the technology we're using on campus so you can better support and help your children from home. But rest assured, we will be providing continuous support for our families. We know both Ms. Ericsson and I, we have young kids, so we know what it's like to support your kid at home through learning, and that's why we're going to give you all the tools to be able to do so. You can always contact us directly. All right. And I think my last slide here is ready to learn. We want to make sure students are ready to learn when they come to school or when they start school at home. And the number one thing that we want for students to be prepared for is that agenda. All right, students are going to have an agenda, as you see right here. Within that agenda, we're going to ask students to write all their assignments in it. And we're asking parents to review that agenda daily is best practice. Have those conversations with your students. What did you learn today? Teach me. Show me what you learned. That's an assessment. You know, what did you learn? That's what our teachers are asking in the classroom at the end of a class. What did you learn? How do I know that you learned this material? We're asking parents to also ask those same questions. All right. We're asking students to have headphones in this e-learning environment. We need you to have on headphones. All right. And we'll have some here on campus, but students should also have their own headphones. I'm
going to jump in here really fast if you don't mind. I will stress, and we really do hope that this was clear, and we'll try to make this more clear. We would prefer headphones with microphones. That will be really helpful when we are in our iLead classes doing our Zoom. So if you could have headphones, students could have headphones with a microphone, that will be hugely helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for that addition. Like I said, we'll have headphones here. We'll also be, our plan is to sell headphones on campus for hero points, so students can earn points and then use those points to purchase headphones or other things that are needed on campus. But thank you for that addition, Ms. Ericsson. Please ensure that your iPad is fully charged. So charge it at night, so in the morning it has a full battery. We'd hate for you to be midway through the day and your iPad dies, right? That's being ready to learn, making sure your iPad is ready for school. I mentioned before, find a quiet place for e-learning, and just make sure your materials are prepared and ready for each class, whether you're on campus or e-learning. You just want to make sure that you're prepared for school and you're ready to learn, whether you're on campus or at home, okay? And I think Miss Ericsson will now talk about HERO in our PBS system.
So thank you all for joining us. Again, as Mr. Clark said, my name is Shelby Ericsson. I am the very proud assistant principal here at Rowlett Middle Academy, and I'm also both of my kiddos went through elementary, and I'm pleased to have both of them on campus with me at the middle school this year. I've got a 6th grader and a 7th grader, so I'm excited about what you're going to look like. But I'm also excited that my kids will be part of the Rowlett Middle Academy.
As Mr. Clark said, we have a classroom or a school-based economy called
HERO. And what this does is this
allows teachers and staff to award points
when students demonstrate any of the habits.
Of course, we're focusing on the 7 habits and leadership following the OWL's expectations. And we really do want to reward kids for doing the right thing. We feel like it's more important to reward kids when they're doing the things that are correct than trying to redirect or punish them per se if they lose their path. So we really are trying to lift and label the great things that kids are doing by providing them what we call hero points. And students can accumulate these in the hero system. Kids are going to learn how to log in and access their points, and they'll be able to teach you as well how to view how many points they have and who awarded them points. And they can use these points for incentives. We have drawings for things like AirPods. We actually had a large drawing last semester of last year where we gave away an Apple Watch as well. When we are fully on campus and it's safe to do so, we have a game room where students can cash in their hero points and join Mr. Clark and I in the game room with 2 friends during lunch. So we try and build in a lot of opportunities for students to be rewarded for the great things that they're doing on a regular basis. So we talked a little bit about the quarterly raffles. We typically do AirPods each quarter. And again, there are other classroom incentives that teachers will actually build in. Preferential seating sometimes, although it may look a little bit different this year than in years past. But eventually we hope to get back to that, of course. There are some preferential things that students can cash their points in for classroom incentives as well.
Okay.
Communication is always important, but especially at this time. We have lots of students that are going to be off-campus learning. We have students that are going to be on campus part of the week and off-campus part of the week. And of course, our students that are on campus, we still need to communicate with families. And our main way of communicating from the school and from the teachers with families is going to be our Blooms app. So if you have not downloaded the Blooms app, I encourage you to do so. There will be a segment on Parent University that talks about how to do this and the importance of it. But Blooms is going to be one of the #1 ways that teachers in the school communicate with families at home. So you don't want to miss out on any important information. Please be sure that you download the app. And you can set quiet hours. So if your teachers are night owls, which many of them are, if they tend to send messages later than you would like to hear them, you can go ahead and set your quiet hours on Blooms so you're not hearing messages at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to name any names, but you know who you are. Teachers who are night owls that send late messages. But in any event, the thing is we want to make sure that you get all the information you need in a timely manner. So Blooms is going to be the #1 way to do that is download that Blooms app and following any messages sent from the school and teachers. We also, of course, can rely on email. I will caution, a lot of times parents will look at focus and see student grades or assignments and try to communicate. There is a way to click on a link in Focus to message teachers. Unfortunately, that is not an email system that we use at Rowlett Middle Academy. So that would kind of be a dead-end email. We do encourage you all to use the rowlettmiddleacademy.org email addresses, and your teachers will be, of course, sharing that information when they share their syllabi with you. As well, you can check our website for that. but please be sure that you focus on the RMAacademy.org email address rather than clicking through focus, because those focus emails end up in a system that we don't check frequently at all. We also, of course, encourage you to visit our website. Almost everything that's posted on Blooms is also posted on our website, and then some. So go to www.rowlettmiddleacademy.org to see all of the great things going on campus, any new information, calendar events, documents, the course brochures and syllabi will be hopefully readily available there. Documentation, a lot of the forms that we typically get at the beginning of the year, a lot of the handouts, we're actually going to be posting those on the website, so you have easy access to them at any time. And it also minimizes the amount of paperwork that we are trying to send home with students at the beginning of the school year. These are all tools, of course, that are essential for learning. We really are here to support you. We want to be able to communicate with you effectively, and vice versa. We want to hear from you as well. And the Blooms app with teachers is a great way to communicate back and forth. Of course, emailing is also a great option for teachers and for administration.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Ericsson. I can't stress enough and reiterate enough that Blooms is really the way that we want to leverage effective communication on our campus. So you can email your teachers. They'll be emailing you through Blooms as well. We're going to be setting that expectation with them that they're going to be communicating with you through Blooms. But like Ms. Ericsson said, you can also use email. If you don't know your child's email address, you can use our website. There's a link that will show you every staff member's email address. So you can email any staff member on our campus. All right. So that information is readily available on our website. We want to drive all questions and all that stuff to our website. I know Facebook is great, but the real source is our website. That's a way that you can check the most accurate information for Rowlett Middle.
It's going to be your trusted source for information in the most timely manner.
Well said.
Okay. A typical day, of course, I know
that we're very clear what a typical school day is going to look like this year. I'm going to
as well as what it will look like
and kind of run through a schedule. So I don't want to spend too much time on this video on this.
But in a nutshell, every student is going to have 15 minutes of ILE to start the day. I want to reiterate that we have not changed our school start and end time. We start at 8:15 and we end at 3:15. I know at the parent forum, I gave an example of the schedule, and it was for example only. That may have made some
a couple folks confused.
So we are still maintaining our 8:15 to
3:15 school.
Again,
15 minutes of the day.
We're going to be focusing on the habits and our making sure that students are being proactive, that they're putting first things first, that they are scheduling their big rocks, that they are being organized and using their agenda and mapping out their days and their weeks to ensure that they are making time for those things that are most important. Of course, students will have a lunch period. We are really going to be we're excited about being able to use more of our green space for lunch. We've got some more picnic tables. We're going to be spreading students across campus, of course, appropriate supervision to ensure social distancing while students are able to enjoy fresh air and the outdoors, which will be great as it gets a little bit cooler outside. Of course, there will be some options for some inside dining opportunities, but we're really hoping, especially once it gets cool, that kids can really take advantage of having some time outside. We're actually also encouraging students to bring a yoga mat or something to sit on for independent reading time, as well as during lunchtime
if they want to have a picnic on the ground.
Right, and we're encouraging kids to bring their lunch if that's something that that your family wants to do. All right.
Electives. So while students are on campus, they will be going to one elective period per day. That doesn't mean they only have one elective assigned to them. We're actually going to be alternating. So I'm going to be going over that schedule a little bit in my separate video as well. But students, while they are on campus, will be going to one elective per day. We are going to alternate those to ensure that students do have exposure to both of the electives they chose. With regard to our e-learners, we are going to have to be creative in some circumstances because not all electives are really conducive to an e-learning environment. And the electives teachers will be really communicating with families what their expectations are for their class and how the structure is going to look. Some elective teachers will be able to Zoom with their e-learners as well as the students that are on campus with us. And some are going to be doing more of an independent practice where students can access the content on Google Classroom just like any other student that would be on campus, but they will be doing more of an independent practice instead of practicing live with a class. Guidance and counseling services, we have just added a wonderful new addition to our faculty, several new additions, but in the guidance counseling realm, we have Ms. Rusan, who is joining us. She and Ms. Wire are absolutely prepared to support students with any counseling, any small group. We're going to be able to offer small group sessions, small group Zoom sessions to ensure safety and social distancing. Any sorts of counseling services. We also have some psychological services available when Ms. Micas is on campus with us. So we really are going to, we're really putting a lot of emphasis on being able to support students' social and emotional learning. We know that just like you, just like Mr. Clark and I, our kids have experienced a trauma over the last few months, and we want to be able to be there to support students because we know that students can't be successful academically unless they have their physical and social and emotional needs met first. So before we can actually really start trying to teach content, we need to make sure kids are feeling safe both physically and emotionally. So we're really going to be, we beefed up our guidance and counseling department to be able to provide those extra supports for students in this challenging time.
Well said, Ms. Ericsson. So excited about the additional counselor. And, you know, we can think outside of the box. Our RMA, we innovate and we try to think outside the box. So adding Zoom counseling is something that we really think will help us during these challenging times.
We also have a great addition in our office. Miss Amy Coleman
is still with us, of course,
and we hope that she's with us
forever.
But we also have Miss Elizabeth Hertz joining us. She will be our front desk. She'll be the first person that if you do come on campus, which again we're going to limit, we'll talk about that in a moment. But you will see a new face. Ms. Hertz is joining us this year. We're thrilled to have her. The same course will be here.
You know,
again, we're trying to be our support, make sure we're supporting families in all areas. With regard to coming on campus, as Mr. Clark mentioned earlier, we really need to limit the amount of visitors on campus at this time. So what we are doing is we're asking families if you have to schedule a doctor's appointment or some sort of appointment for your child, if at all possible, you could schedule that.
For a hybrid parent. If you could schedule that time when your student is when your child is not on campus, that would be ideal. We understand that that can't always happen, but if at all possible and when at all possible, if appointments are out of school events
need to occur, if you can try to maintain those on days when students are scheduled to be on campus,
that would be hugely helpful.
We do
understand, of course, that kids do need to go to the doctor, appointments do need to come.
You also have the option of holding your child home for the duration of the day and allowing them to participate in e-learning. By doing that, they will still get credit for their participation in class. They will get marked present because they will be present by way of the Zoom sessions that we've set up. So it would be we're trying to minimize the amount of movement in the office and hoping that parents go ahead and keep kids home and take advantage of our e-learning option for a day if they have to take their kiddo to a doctor's appointment or something like that. Of course, if that's not possible, please, we ask that you call the front office to let us know. We're going to walk through the procedures of what that looks like. I believe Miss Amy and Miss Hertz are going to be creating a video on that separately. But we are going to have a process because we really want to ensure that we only have, at the most, one parent in the office at any time. We're going to have masks outside. We're going to have the sign-out sheet prepared in a way that minimizes flow of folks in the office, because we want to keep you as safe as possible, but we also want to keep our office staff as safe as possible as we are doing with children. We are also excited, very, very excited to be introducing a new parent pickup system called Safe Dismissal. We hope to have this up and running on the first day of school. We may not have it 100% up and running. It should not affect your experience on campus picking up your child, with the exception of hopefully making it a little bit more efficient. So it's going to be very similar to the car placard where we printed out card stock with your child's name on it that you put in the front windshield of the car. It will be a similar process. However, it's going to be a number system where we're going to be able to really very, in an expedited way, very easily get students safely to parent pickup cars while minimizing any grouping of students. We're not going to have students be waiting in the arts building or waiting outside. We're going to have the students stay in their classrooms, and we're going to be calling them directly from their classrooms when parents arrive on campus. So we'll have some more information about that. But again, from the parent's perspective, it really shouldn't change your experience much, with the exception of making it hopefully a little bit
quicker for us to get your kids
and in your car and on the way home. Academics, we know that our social and emotional importance, need for the kids to be safe social and emotionally. That is our number one priority. But of course, a very, very quick number two, a very close number two is academics. So we are going to continue with our quality standards-based instruction. Our teachers have been working diligently over the summer to create rigorous lessons that are relevant to students, that are meaningful, and that are working to build relationships between students and staff, and also relationships between concepts. We are creating a nurturing, creative, and challenging learning environment, as always, maybe even more so, and we of course strive to improve every year. And our challenges that we're seeing now have just simply done that, challenged us to be a little bit better at what we do. So we're excited about this upcoming year, what that looks like with regard to our academics. We are streamlining our processes to ensure that there's consistency in classes for all students. So we are asking for no more than 3 graded assignments per class, and those class assignments will be due on Friday nights with some exception. And the exception will be provided to students who require or are eligible for additional time into their services that they are entitled to. All students must attend Zoom daily for each class, which is a little bit different than we did at the end of the year, fourth quarter last year. We learned that really we needed to make sure that students had structure while they are off campus, which helps parents support your kiddos while they are learning, but also students know what the expectation is of how to keep up with their schedule. We want to ensure that students have that opportunity with each of their core classroom teachers to Zoom with them every day, to be able to connect with their teachers, connect with their classmates, and also connect with live instruction. And of course, we will, as always, be providing small group and one-on-one instruction through our village, through our opportunity center. We have lots of great plans for supporting our students as we progress through the year.
So thank you, Ms. Ericsson. That was our last slide. Ultimately, like I mentioned before, there's so many things out there in the world to be concerned about. We want our staff and our students to really focus on their circle of influence and their circle of control, which is 7 Habits language. We're asking and charging our staff with really focusing on 3 things: making sure you are building relationships with your students. You got to have those relationships before the learning will come. So relationships, making sure you're building relevance, connecting why students need to learn this, and connecting it to things that they're interested in. And also rigor, making sure we have a rigorous curriculum and learning environment, like Ms. Ericsson was mentioning before. For students, we're charging them with those 3 things. Do your best, making sure you're personally responsible for your learning and you're personally responsible for your health by wearing a mask, and make sure you're washing your hands routinely and doing social distancing at school. But it's also important to do those things at home, so you can make sure that you're safe, you keep your family safe, and those in your community. But all of these things, all roads lead through the 7 habits. And really, the 7 habits has been our glue that has kept our family and our school community together. And we try to base all of our decisions through the prism of the 7 habits. And, we're continuous improvement. We don't always get it right, but we're doing our very best. And hopefully you understand that. And your child's best interest, their academic acceleration, in addition to their social, emotional well-being, is at the forefront of our mind. This will be an awesome year. And with your help, we can ensure that our children continue to grow academically and socially and from the inside out. So we know you have questions. We have a question and answer session that will be from 11 to 12 today, Saturday the 15th, from 11 to 12. So please chime on if you have questions.
Unless you're watching this on Friday.
Unless you're watching this on Friday or in December. But that'll be recorded as well. Please chime in and ask any question that you may have. But of course, remember that communication. You can also use Bloom, use email to communicate with us, or old school, you can just call us, which people still do nowadays. So we are grateful for you to be a part of our Rowlett Middle community and family. And together, we will ensure this will be an excellent year. And we'll see you virtually. And please contact if you need assistance. And we got this. So thank you, Ms. Ericsson. Well done. And please contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.
It's going to be a great year, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.